Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to show you an alternative way to play in your Wii. So normally with the Wii you would connect it up to your TV and then you would be looking at the TV screen while moving around your Wiimote or your classic controller plugged into your Wiimote. But with this option here, what I've done is I've made it into a kind of handheld option, so if somebody else was using the TV you could still play this as long as you're within range of your Wii, and you could play it in handheld mode. So it's kind of nice. Obviously it's mimicking the Switch, but it's nothing like the Switch because the Switch in its own right can be taken anywhere. Although this is portable because the Wii, as you will see later, is being powered from a power bank via batteries, so in theory I can take this anywhere, it's nowhere near as portable as the Switch because obviously I still have to lug around the Wii with you. So you're going to need to put it in something like a vented backpack if you did actually want to use this on the go. Good thing about the Wii is that you have a huge library of games and also all the GameCube games as well, because I'm using the original Wii, the first Wii that came out, so then they have the GameCube ports and the option to play GameCube games. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a quick bit of Mario Kart Wii, then I'm going to show you the setup, and then I'm going to show you a GameCube game working, and also I'll show you a game working with the Wiimote as well, because we have a sensor bar up here as well, wirelessly, so this is all wireless here. So it's quite a nice idea. Mainly it would be used for at home if someone else was using a TV, or possibly if you were camping. Yes, you could bring it on the train because you could put the Wii in a vented backpack, but you might get a few funny looks if you were carrying that around on the train because it does look a little bit dodgy. Right, okay, let's have a look at this here now. Now the Joy-Cons are only going to work on games that allow the classic controller, but there's a huge library of games that allow the classic controller. So remember, as long as you're within range of the Wii console and as long as the Joy-Cons are within range, then you can play this anywhere in your house. And you'd be surprised, depending on the structure of your house, the Joy-Cons can actually work pretty far, and also the wireless HDMI can work pretty far as well. Good thing about this setup as well is there's very little lag, because the wireless HDMI that I'm using claims it's like, you know, zero lag. I think it's 1 millisecond, which is absolutely nothing, and because this is a monitor as well, then monitors normally have less lag than a TV. So in theory this should give you just about the same performance as if you were using it on a TV, if not slightly better. Right, okay, let me show you how the setup works. So here we have the beast. Check out that monstrosity here. So you've just seen the monitor. I'll show you around the back of that in a few minutes, but let's concentrate here to begin with. So if you look closer, you can still just about make out that that is the original Wii there, with the GameCube ports and memory cards at the side or the top. Now, if we spin it round here, you will see that we have two outlets from the power bank. This one can do 12 volts and 5 volts at the same time. The 12 volts I've just spliced onto a Nintendo power supply, the original one, and that works absolutely fine. And then the 5 volts is coming out to power this wireless HDMI sender here. Now, if you were just using this at your home, then you don't need to have the power bank on it, because you would just be using your Nintendo AC power supply like you would normally do. But by putting a power bank on it, it means you can take this absolutely anywhere, on top of a mountain, camping, even in your rucksack. So if you want to play this in handheld mode like a big Switch, then what you could do is you could put your Wii in a vented backpack like this. This is like a gym bag type backpack, or again, swimming bags often have vents in them, and then you see it will keep vented. This doesn't generate much heat at all. We've got a fan at the back, we've got a vent at the side here, and a vent just under the front. At the front there, if you have a look, you can see a couple of vents or 3 vents there. But it's not a console that gets ridiculously hot. Obviously, if you were to throw this in your backpack, chances are you're going to snap this off. So you would have to redesign this to maybe place up on here out of harm's way. Now, again, to get the Joy-Cons to work, you need to have basically a Brook PS4 to Wii U adapter. And then out of that we need to have a Magic NS adapter made by Mayflash, set to the blue mode, and that will allow then the Joy-Cons to work as a pair. You can see there the hand moving around. Again, if you weren't bothered about using the Joy-Cons, because remember these just slide on and off with the little Joy-Con grips at the side there from the Joy-Con grip, the little metal rails, then of course you could just use this here. This is going to go as player 2 now, because obviously this is synced up as player 1, and then because we've got the sensor bar at the top there, you will see, let me just get the right angle,
There you go, you can see the hand there now. Yeah, player 2. Right, okay. So again, you don't have to have a lot of this if you want to just use it at home, but I've done this video just to sort of cover all bases because different people want it for different things. Now if you have a look at the watts on this, you will see at the moment it's working at about 18, 19, 20 watts. I haven't seen it go above 21 even when I'm using a disc and even when it's playing a game. Now this is a 75 watt hour battery or power bank, so in theory if that was 20 watts 3 hours would be about 60 watt hours, and this is 75 watt hours, so you can see we're easily going to get between 3 and 4 hours use out of it. I forgot to mention earlier when I was filming that to get this wireless HDMI sender to work here, you will have to use one of these adapters here. So this is a Wii to HDMI, and if you have a look, it just converts the AV out here into HDMI, so it's quite a bulky adapter, but it's useful for when you want to plug in something like this. When it comes to this wireless HDMI here, it says it's got a range of 100 feet. I don't get anywhere near that because that's over 30 meters. That's probably out in the open with no obstacles in the way. And remember, we're going to get a lot of other interference from all this other equipment being so close to it. So in my house, I get about 10 meters, but it does go through the walls in my house and the floor's okay. I'll show you the back of the actual thing itself. So first of all, we've got a little wireless sensor bar up the top here because obviously the other one needs to be plugged into the Wii. So rather than mess around trying to get power into it, because I believe it's 12 volts, I think it can work as little as 7.5 volts, I thought I might as well just get a sensor bar. You can turn it on and off by just pressing that button here. It takes 4 AAA batteries and it costs around, depending on where you get it, from Amazon it's around 10 UK pounds. Right, if you have a look at the back here, this is the other part of the magic. It's this wireless HDMI here. Oh, there you go, my little stickers come off. Right, okay, so as you can see it does 1080p, but that's irrelevant because with the Wii I'm only going to get 480p anyway. But that pumps out the signal, the picture and the sound. This is picking up the picture and the sound, and then you can see a very short HDMI cable going into the monitor, and I've got a dual power bank here. Now this monitor actually takes 12 volts as the input, but it works absolutely fine with 5 volts as long as you don't have the brightness and the volume too loud. Most of this monitor's usage actually comes from the 2 little speakers. There's a speaker here and a speaker buried under here because they're 3 watts each, so that's 6 watts. If you have a look at the little sticker here, you can see that it takes 12, there you go, 12 watts, power consumption 12 watts. So that would be with volume up full and brightness up full. In my case, it's not using anywhere near that. But I've got the Anchor power bank here, and this is, I think it's, I can't remember now, 46 watt hours, and I've got basically 2 outlets running at the same time, one to feed the monitor and one to feed this here. This is going to outlast the battery on here, so I'm easily going to get over 3 to 4 hours use out of this unit here. So altogether you can see that you can have quite a good gaming session with this setup here. Obviously if you're away from AC power you've got no way of charging them up again, but that's exactly the same as your phone and your Switch and any other device that you take with you. So basically that is the back of it there. Right, now let me show you, I'm going to show you a game working with the Wiimote, and then I think I'm going to show you a GameCube game. Okay, so we've got the Wiimote connector now as player 1. I've had to unplug the Brook adapter because this particular game here, which is Super Mario Wii, if you have a look up the top there, it only supports the Wiimotes and also the nunchucks as well. So it's not an option to be able to use the Joy-Cons on here because it doesn't support the classic controller. Now if you have a look here, you can see, go to start using the pointer. Now I've had to put the volume down just purely because of copyright claims, but obviously volume works absolutely fine on this monitor and it pumps out a good bit of volume when you want it to. Hold the Wiimote sideways. Just to show you, just quickly zoom in on that wattage there. You can still see, look at that, 17.2, 18, so it's no higher than when it was just on the home screen. So just because the Wii's old, there's still a lot of good games on here. Good thing is the Wii is available quite cheaply as well. Right, okay. The Problem with this setup is that wireless HDMI. Everything else can be got at a reasonable price, but the one over there, unfortunately I had to pay 250 UK pounds, which is just so much money. You can get them as little as £100, but it still makes this setup really not something that you're going to do in the real world. But prices will come down, and in a few years, as they get more popular, the price should drop massively. Right, I'm just going to show you a GameCube game now. So let's go to the Wii menu. So the GameCube game is going to be Mario Kart Double Dash. GameCube games are just tiny with these little discs. Right, let's just pop it in there. Now, to get the controller to work, this is a little third-party wireless one. So I've got my little wireless sender plugged into one of the GameCube ports. Let's turn it on here. You see red light here. That stops flashing red. It's gone to constant, so that's now synced up. We still have to use the Wiimote to get into the GameCube. You can see in the top left-hand corner here, the GameCube home screen. So go on that. Just recognise the music if you had a GameCube in the past. Let's go to start. Now with this one here, I've gone to start, but it's not going to actually come up on the screen. It should do on a normal TV, but on this one here, it's set as 480p, because that's what it was working on the Wii. When it comes to the GameCube, it comes up as 480i. So all I have to do is just turn the monitor off, leave it a few seconds, turn it back on again, and then it's going to start working on the GameCube. So turn it back on now, and you will see it will come up with 480i. Now, with the sensor bar here, if you want to save the batteries, you can turn it off because it's not needed for the GameCube anyway. There we go, 480i. Yeah, so let's go to start. Right, and now you pick a pair. So let's do Donkey Kong and let's do Luigi. Right, now we can pick our kart. And with this you can swap drivers if you've ever played this game before, if you remember it from years ago. Yeah. B for brake and also to reverse. Let's just get a power up. And it's going to be X and Y to use this. Yeah. So there we go, that's GameCube working in tabletop mode as well, just like the Switch when you do things in tabletop mode. So there we go, that is it. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.